This represents an all-hands space, a training room, something like that. And usually, spaces like these are operated by people who don't understand technology. If I'm a lecturer and I try to use this microphone and it doesn't work, and I don't know how buttons work, and I don't know where to turn it on, then I'm probably calling IT or I'm calling someone and someone's getting a service call, and that's not what we want people to worry about, right? This guy doesn't know how to get the HDMI for his laptop up onto the screens, right? He doesn't know how to control the lights in the room or anything else. We want this guy to be able to focus on just having a good presentation. So we're going to use all of the technology in this room to automate it so that all this guy has to do is get into his position. Yeah! Hooah! Whoa! Come to you! Back to me! Bam! Okay, thank you. Wham! That's like the most amount of interaction I've gotten for that bit the whole day. So, wow! What happened there? All that I did was step into an area on the stage, right? And then lots of things happened. The lights turned on. The music played. The TV's activated. A media player was told to play a certain file and directed to those areas, right? The camera's activated. All of this automation just because I was in a particular spot. So we're going to break that down as to how we did that, what the technologies are that are involved. One of them is going to involve these NC series cameras. If you look around the room, you'll see there are many of them. And this screen over here is doing a carousel of each of those shots. Every couple of seconds, it's just going to show you another camera, just so you can see what they are for reference. But this screen right here is showing you what we would be sending to the far end caller. We got a remote participant who is going to listen to my lecture probably from the comfort of their house, and they want to have a good experience in this room as well. And they should have an equitable experience as everybody who's in the room. They're probably connecting via a conferencing application. We've got a Microsoft Teams room controller over here. We got Logitech, we got a Google Meet, we got a Zoom. We're agnostic as far as which conferencing application you want to use. Right now, this one happens to be running off of the MTR. We have the largest number of certified devices for Microsoft Teams rooms, so we're just using it as an example right now. The video and the audio of the room would be sent via USB bridge to this device. And what's nice about it is that the person in the room, when they do need to control things manually, they can do so with one pane of glass. I don't want a lighting controller here and the HVAC control somewhere else. We can put everything right here. I'm going to activate what they call the second page experience for this by pressing room controls. That's what it looks like. I don't want you all to hover over my shoulder right now, so I'm just going to show you what it is over there. I can control the lighting, I can control the shades, I can send a help desk request. All of that is because we've actually left the Teams experience, and now we're interacting directly with Q-SYS, but the user doesn't even know that, right? They're just pressing buttons. So if they have something in the room that they really need help with, they can say, hey, I need help. Like here, yeah, it's too cold in here. Let me call for help.
Help desk requested.
And that sends a message to the IT department so that they're notified that the person in the room needs some assistance. And then they can call back and say, hey, I'm coming to help you, right? So that's one way we can make life easier by putting all the controls into a single location. But let's talk about the experience.
Attention, live help desk support is on the way.
That is a very responsive IT department. That's the thing. Wow, they showed up so quickly. That's one thing that we can do, but now let's talk about what we're doing for the far end caller. The first thing you'll notice is that the shot of me is really wide and pulled out. That's not a very good shot. And also, if anyone in the audience had questions, you probably wouldn't even show up in that shot, and the far end caller wouldn't even know who's talking. So let's address all of those issues. First, I'll engage speaker spotlights.
Speaker spotlight enabled.
And with this enabled, if someone in the audience has a question, what's going to happen is the cameras will find them based on their XY coordinates as detected by the microphone data and pull up a camera to focus on.
I'd like to participate, Nate. And as I'm speaking, my voice is hitting the XYZ coordinates of that microphone and switching directly to me without ever seeing the camera swivel around and making the far end sick.
I'm going to pick another random spot. I'm another person. I have another question. Same thing. As I ask that question, the camera will find a new position. And it's now on me. We didn't see that camera move because that one still aimed at Patrick and was focused on Patrick while the second camera was able to find me, line me up, and then cut to the shot once it was ready.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad we had an IT professional just to hand me a scarf. I feel like they could have brought the AC down maybe rather than just give me a scarf. But, I'm glad that we're paying them the big bucks for that. Now I'm so warm and fashionable, lovely. All right, so that is the speakers. Why do I not know how to wear a scarf? One-handed is tricky. Let's engage the presenter spotlights to talk about the other issue, which is that far end shot.
Presenter spotlight enabled.
So we're now zooming in, and you'll see that that shot is tracking me and is a much tighter shot. I can walk wherever I want, and it will continue to track me wherever I go. Now, all of this is powered by our VisionSuite AI accelerator. This piece of hardware is basically providing us with the AI under the hood to analyze the room and do things. This is what it looks like under the hood. It's creating a 16-point telemetry model of me as I move around, so it knows what I'm doing. It knows that it's not just facial recognition, it's tracking my whole body. It knows if I'm walking backwards. And it will allow us to create automations based on my activity in the room. That's how we did the thing in the beginning. I stood in the middle of the room. We said, hey, in this area, if there's a presenter, something should happen. I'm going to do the same thing over here. We got another trigger area set up on this side. If I walk over here, we know that the far end no longer cares about watching me mosey around the room. They care about whatever I'm doing on this blackboard. So we cut to a separate camera angle that is dedicated to this. But if I leave it and then I go back in the middle, it's going to track me back into my normal position. And we can do all kinds of things with all of this data. For instance, you may notice that the green lights behind me are just following me wherever I go. Is that useful? Probably not. Is it cool? Yeah, it's cool, right? It's one silly little thing that makes that room a little bit cooler. And it also lets you know that I'm an NPC and I have a side quest for you. But if I go over here, for instance, I'll do another trigger zone.
Display activated.
I can show you some this behind the scenes. This is what it looks like when you build the model inside Designer. You add the 3D chairs and your walls, and you put in the cameras, and you put in those markers, these little QR markers. This calibration marker you then install in the actual room. And what happens is that your best guess based on your architectural plans in the 3D model are probably not 1,000% accurate. When the cameras actually become online and they calibrate to those markers, then it finally makes the final connections to get a really accurate aspect of the room. You then take the markers off the wall. You don't need to leave them up there. And then this is what you have in real time. This is our room actually running right now. It uses the fusion of information coming from the cameras and the microphone to figure out where the people are and when someone is speaking, who they are, where it should focus. Now, all of this is being run by that AI accelerator. Now, that's a bit of hardware, but this part is obviously software. And we will continue to have incredible improvements in the software as time comes. You know that this is the very tip of the iceberg of things that we can do with this kind of data. So that's the VisionSuite. We're going to move on to the next room, which is our Network Operations Center. Right through that door.